Thank you very much, Martin, for coming on and taking a few minutes to chat with me. Um, we're all really excited about Bakery Showcase. At least I am. I always enjoy visiting Toronto. I am a Toronto boy, but it's great to go back and see all the colleagues and see everything that's new in the baking industry. And so I wanted to ask you to share with us some key points to kind of get everybody in the gear and those who haven't registered yet to make sure that they register and attend the show. And so, tell us a little bit. Well, maybe you are, of course, the current president of the Baking Association of Canada, right? So tell us a little bit about your function there so that everybody knows who you are. Who's Martin Barnett?
Well, I'm actually executive director, but
executive director. Sorry.
and we have a great team, and so everything just ticks along. And although I'm heavily involved, the team tells me to stop micromanaging, and which is hard to do.
Yeah.
No, it's quite a well-oiled machine, especially because of our partnership with Annex Business Media and who the Baker's Journal people. Mm-hmm. And they partner with us in 2022 after our revamp after COVID, and where we used to do Showcase in-house, and they took over in 2022. So this is their 5th year, and it's probably going to be the best and biggest bakery showcase
and
ever.
They've been doing a fantastic job, I have to say, because I used to organize the trade show booth for ADM when I was at ADM Milling in Canada, and I was, when it used to be the Bakery Production Club of Ontario, I was on the organizing committee, and so I know there's a lot involved in putting this on together. Like you say it takes a huge team. It takes a village, as people always like to say. Right?
Absolutely. And this year we have about 300 booths, and of course some of them are multiple booths, but
yeah.
It translates into many exhibitors, and from ingredient suppliers, equipment suppliers, service suppliers. Even bakeries that are
fantastic! Yeah,
booths. We're featuring lots of demonstrations, and we have the Bakery Cup competition there.
Yeah,
we have teams competing, vying to be the best in Canada,
mm-hmm.
And maybe go on to represent Canada at the Mondial du Pain in
mm-hmm.
Paris in 2027. So that's exciting, and our sponsors have just bent over backwards to supplying equipment and ingredients to make this competition happen. So
that is great to hear. As a past organizer of what we used to call the professional baked goods competition, that was often one of the biggest struggles, and that's fantastic to hear, right? And so, why is, tell us sort of in a nutshell, why is Showcase so important to the Canadian baking industry?
Well, it's for 2 reasons, or more than 2 reasons, mm-hmm. Mark. It's an annual event. It's the only national event that for bakers in Canada, and it's not only for Canadians to come and see Canadian products, innovations, equipment, and supplies. There's lots of international representation there too.
Fantastic.
And it also attracts international people. So this is morphed from a local Canadian event into a major international event.
That is fantastic. That's great to hear. Yeah, that's
we welcome international visitors. We even have a little meet and greet on the Sunday morning that anybody that's coming from overseas, and we have a lot of people from Asia and Africa and Indian subcontinent, and we get them all together for a little meet and greet on the Sunday morning to
that is really cool. I'll have to make sure I join that because I'm raring to go. I'm gonna be there. I got my everything booked and all set up to go and making a fun trip of it all, right? And we're we have friends and stuff in Toronto as well. So we're making a trip of it, a visit and stuff. So it's a great city to visit. Even if you don't have close friends, you'll have some once you meet us all at Bakery Showcase, and that'll be wonderful to meet all these people from overseas and stuff too, and welcome them, and encourage them to share all the good news about the Canadian baking industry. And so we talked a little bit. You mentioned that there's a whole bunch of different events, right? And so tell us a little bit about some of the education sessions that are going to be happening.
We've got some great panels, Mark. We've talked before about our farmer miller baker events that we've had actually 7 across the country in the last 2.5 years.
And kudos to you. Those have been a huge success.
A lot of fun too, let me
Yeah.
tell you, a lot of fun. So this year we thought we would talk about that on the national stage. So we have a farmer miller baker panel.
Excellent.
They're going to talk about our major ingredient, how it's grown, how it's changed, how it's milled and processed, and of course how to bake with it. And the emphasis, of course, is on local, fresh milled, and products made with with that.
Yep.
With a nod to the fact that Canada is, one of the major cereal growing countries in the world, and we help feed 9 billion people.
Yep.
But what we can learn from the grassroots, excuse my pun, goes to really shape the development of our growing and how we use our
and I mean I think that wheat farmers in general and probably Canadian wheat farmers more particularly have really been at the forefront of sustainable farming practices, and that has been coming more and more to the foreground these days, and of interest to the bakers and the consumers, and that that they are using sustainable practices for the growing of the various ingredients and commodities, right? That is really cool. And we talked about how many exhibitors. That is fantastic, right? I mean, 300 booths. That's getting up there. That's really big, right? I mean, I think I don't know what the numbers were the last time it was in Toronto, but it sounds to me almost like it's doubled, right? I mean, it must be pretty close to double, right?
It's doubled since, in Toronto. It's definitely doubled since. So this is the third Toronto event in my era, 22, 24, and now this year, 26.
Wow.
But on the off years where we have it in Montreal and Vancouver, usually, we don't expect such large turnouts in the regional national event. But in Montreal last year, that as well blew out the windows.
Yes, I attended that one, and I was very pleasantly surprised. It was really good. It was a great turnout, right?
So this is us responding to what our bakery sector is asking for. They're asking to come to a show once a year. They see value in it. Whether it's to purchase a new piece of equipment or network or learn from some of the educational offerings we have.
Yep.
I mean, I know, I live on Vancouver Island. I had a small bakery phone me up the other day and tell me about Bakery Showcase because I need some equipment. And
excellent.
5 minutes later, they booked their flight and are on their way because they recognize that as the place to go and kick tires.
That's really cool. That has been fantastic. Give us sort of a briefing on on, you mentioned the baking competition. So, what can people kind of expect from this competition? You mentioned that it's tied into the Mondial de Pain in Paris, which is like a world championship. And so, tell us a little bit about the what are the bakers going to be doing? Can people see what's happening?
Absolutely, it's a wide open area. They can watch the bakers. They're teams of two, so there's a master baker and an apprentice. They have to make a variety of viennoiserie, croissants, Danish, baguette, of course,
Hmm.
and a specialty bread and a showpiece.
Wow.
And yeah, so.
And that
Um,
happens all during the show
yes,
over those 2 days.
yes. There's some teams will start on Saturday night and work on Sunday, and some teams will start on Sunday night and work on Monday, and then the grand prize will be given out. The awards will be given out on Monday afternoon
Oh,
by
fantastic. That's great. Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
remember in Montreal that was really well attended. Just like we were running out of room for people to stand and
exactly. Yes,
watch.
we
Yeah,
fixed
yeah.
that this year. We haven't put booths close up to the
Very good. Yeah.
competition area. I do want to give a shout out to Lallemand, who made a multi-year commitment to sponsor the competition after last year. They were last year's sponsors, and then they said we want to do this for the next 10 years. So that kudos to them. That's amazing.
That's fantastic. They're a great group to work with. They are very much pro education and bringing up the bakers and the standards and innovation and things. And yes, that is their whole their culture, their personality and stuff. They're great company to that's supporting the baking industry here in Canada.
As well as the Farmer Miller Baker, we have a dessert trends panel where we've brought together some pretty amazing pastry chefs to talk about what's going on. And this is we had a dessert panel in Calgary last year, and it was jaw-droppingly interesting. And we said we've got to copy this and have it on the national stage.
Fantastic. That
So
is great. Yeah.
looking forward to that. And one of the um, Hans from Quails Gate Winery in the Okanagan is going to be doing demos as well as sitting on the panel. So
Oh,
Hans
very good.
Suarez, that's
Oh,
great. We also have you know that recently we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Retail Bakers of America and
hmm.
American Baking Association, and so they're coming up, and the Retail Bakers of America are going to give a small talk about their a course they offer called Bob Business of Baking,
Hmm.
and it's a teaser because they've committed to holding this event in Canada, which is a one-day Business of Baking event. So we're kind of kicking it off at Showcase. Um, we have another panel with Canada's independent retail leaders. So you know those small bakeries that you go into and you line up, and where do they get all their customers from? Look at their
Hmm.
beautiful products. They sell out every day.
Yep.
Um, and so we've got four of those bakers from across Canada, owners,
Fantastic.
independent owners. They're going to talk about, why they're successful, what went right for them, what were their challenges, and, why big industry should listen to them, because again, they have
That's
their
perfect.
finger on the
Yeah.
pulse.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to that. And we have some different demos going on. We have a demo about using cocoa substitute because everybody knows the price of cocoa is very volatile. I mean, it's settled down now, but $12,000 a ton last year was,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to cut my chocolate consumption from 2 squares a night to one, Mark.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the humanity.
Anyway, it has settled, but what that did drive was, well, what can we do to production to help our production of chocolate-based
Hmm.
products
Yep.
to so it's not, the price doesn't get out of reach. So that's a good one. We have another a sourdough demonstration.
How are we fitting
This is
all of
from
this into 2 days? I mean, this is great. Right? Yeah.
This is called Burka sourdough. So and so Burka, I think, is a European outfit that are
Hmm.
promoting sourdough as the same way you promote good wine.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep. Hmm.
the terroir, the individualism, not just, mixing up your starter in in your kitchen and making a loaf
Yep.
in your Dutch oven. This is going much further into it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
interviewed a lady not too long ago. She's originally from Poland. She's a baker, and she lives in California now. And she is certified as a bread sommelier, right?
oh yes, I've
Yeah,
heard about that.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, the name of the chef that's presenting his works for them, he's their technical chef. His name's James Booker.
Hmm.
Uh, James Brown, I'm sorry, and he's the tech rep for Booker. So yeah, it's full on.
That's
I was going to
fantastic.
do a demo too, but there is no room for me to do a demo, Mark. There's
Well,
nothing I
we'll let you off the hook this time, Martin.
nothing I like better than rolling up my sleeves and getting my hand in the dough. So
Yeah, I mean, it's for people like you and me, it's in our blood. I mean, I'm still at home. I'm baking almost every day, right? Is something I get an idea or I see something on TikTok or something that I want to recreate or whatever, and it's a real passion, and getting out and supporting our bakers is important too. I was always enjoying good quality baked goods and breads and pastries and everything, right? Wow, that this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Really
did I
appreciate.
talk about the tickets and registration?
Oh yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah.
Register online. You can go to baking.ca and there's a drop down for showcase and it'll tell you all about. There's probably, if you are an exhibitor listening to this, there's maybe 2 or 3 booths left, literally. If you want to get in, jump on the bandwagon. Attendees can register. For bakers, it's minimal. It's $25 for the
I was just gonna
weekend.
say I was gonna wind it up and say, well, what is it like so many other conferences, like $700 or
No,
250?
if you're a baker, it's 25. If you're a baker member, it's $25. If you're a non-member, it's $30. So
That's my favorite thing about this show. Yeah, yeah.
and if you're not a member and you want your company to join, we have a show special. If you join up during the show, membership dues are 50% for the first year.
Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. That's excellent. Yeah. Wow. Martin, thank you so much for your time. I always enjoy chatting with you. Look forward to seeing you at the show and being able to physically shake your hand again in person and catch up on things. This has been wonderful. And if you're not signed up, do it now. You can't miss this. It is so much fun. So many great people. So much to learn and to see. It is one of the best baking industry shows that I have been to in the world, and I've been to all of them. Well, except for the ones in Singapore, right? So, it is fantastic. So thanks again, Martin, and good luck with everything. Although I don't think you need luck at this point anymore. It's going so well, and look forward to seeing you at the show.
Thanks for letting me chat.